Hello, everyone. Happy Monday as you're watching this. Hope you are off to a great start to the week already. It's early enough, so if you're not off to a great start, you have time to turn that around. Welcome back, Maximize Monday. 2 weeks in a row now we're doing this. So with the holidays coming up, the schedule here in the next few weeks is going to get a little shaky, but wanted to make sure we get some episodes in here before the end of the year, especially when we can have some awesome guests to join us. As you can see, new guest this week, Nicole. Some of you who follow me might already know her if you're heavy into the transitioning teachers world. But Nicole, I really appreciate you taking some time to join me this week.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, as you all know, the main thing that I like to kick off with is what's motivating me for the weekend as the holidays continue to approach. A few weeks ago, I had mentioned that I was away on vacation, and we were trying to do like this big holiday thing with my daughter, and we promised, it's going to be fun. You get to see Santa, all that good stuff, and then Santa was not there. So, mommy and daddy are liars. So, the big thing this week is to make sure that we get her in front of Santa Claus. So that is the one thing motivating me this week, is just because she's really like keyed in on Santa Claus this year. I didn't know how she would react to it, but we made sure to hype it up during the parade and then all the talk of it and all the shows and movies that she can see where Santa is a big presence. So hopefully she's excited when she sees him in person as she is when she sees him on the TV. Fingers crossed, wish me luck, but that's one of the things that we're aiming to get done this week. Second thing motivating me, as I constantly mention, if you know Matt, you know wrestling is life for Matt. And a few times a year, my friends and I get to go to a local convention that has like all retired or current wrestlers that come to do the autograph signings, the pictures with them and whatnot. And we usually get a table at these conventions, bring in a wrestler ourselves to just kind of plug the podcast, plug the wrestler, and all that good stuff. So it's a chaotic like 4 hours a few times a week, but it's a lot of fun too to just kind of network and get to meet some people that you see on TV. So doing that on Saturday, that's one of the main things for the weekend. And the other thing for the weekend that is motivating for me, I mentioned a few weeks ago, we're in bowl season for college football. So getting really excited for that. Fingers crossed as you watch this on Monday, in terms of pro football, the Eagles are still doing well. They are having a good season anyway, but playing the Giants, I have a ton of friends who are Giants fans. So please, please, Eagles, win this one for me, so I don't have to hear it for another 4 weeks from my friends about the Eagles. So fingers crossed on that too. But professionally, what do I have going on for the week? So I actually opened up 5 new positions since last Monday. So biggest thing for me in terms of goals with the holidays approaching, that makes it a little tricky to get candidates lined up for interviews, get everyone's schedules aligned to either talk over the phone, meet in person. So biggest goal this week is to at least just make sure that I'm touching base with the candidates, with the hiring managers, and making sure that everything is smooth sailing. So if we can't get everyone in line before the holidays, we at least have a solid plan after the holidays to get everything focused up. And the other thing, goal wise this week, if you know me, I like to try to change things up a little bit with my postings on LinkedIn. I try stuff new every so often. So this week, one of my goals is to try something new. I was heavy into the GIFs or GIFs, however you pronounce it. I go GIF. If you go GIF, I think you're wrong, but anyway, I was heavy into those for a few weeks, and obviously I have like my staples that I do, but want to put something new in. And then the wins for the week, actually closed 2 positions last week. So even though I opened some new ones, was able to hire some great candidates for the other ones. So always a win to get people started on their career here at Novalex. So that's what's going on for me. Nicole, what do you have going on in your world this week?
Yeah, it's awesome to hear everything you have going on. I this week have the big motivator coming up is I have a trip to go home for the holidays. So before that, I am motivated to get some things done.
Mhm.
I'm from the Virgin Islands in the Caribbean. So
Nice.
that's where I'll be spending my warm Christmas. But
Jealous.
before then, yeah, before then, trying to take advantage of some of the colder weather stateside Christmas activities. So I live in the San Francisco Bay Area, and the some of the neighborhoods where I live go really big on the Christmas lights. So I'll be going out to see some of the neighborhoods that are really just totally decked out with Christmas lights next week.
Awesome.
And also going to a Christmas market that I came across that's put on out here. And then, yeah, the trip next weekend is kind of the big thing I'm looking forward to, getting to be with my family, Christmas on the beach, and getting to see my 7-month-old niece who I haven't seen since the summer.
Awesome.
So big things motivating me right now. Before I get there, some goals. I'm hoping to submit a few more applications. It's great to hear from a recruiter that new positions are still being worked on right now, because I know it's kind of a weird time with the holidays coming up.
Mhm.
But I want to keep submitting a few more job applications before I kind of check out for the holidays. And I also have been doing an interview series like this with recently transitioned teachers. So I have one more episode that I'm going to be putting out in the next couple days here. And yeah, those are the main things I have going on. Oh, I also have a couple webinars that I'm signed up to attend next week, and some professional group meetings that I've been connected with that I'll be going to as well. So just continuing my ongoing learning since I'm on this job hunt myself.
Awesome. Awesome. Now, you and I got connected due to what you talked about in terms of the episodes you do with your teachers in transition program. So let's kind of talk about that for a little bit. What was kind of the inspiration for you? I know you are a transitioning teacher at this point, and there's a large network of them on LinkedIn, as I think a lot of people have seen that the hashtag transitioning teacher has been one of the more popular ones that I've seen. So was that kind of it for you, the motivator? You saw a lot of people in the same boat as you and wanted to kind of put together this resource for everyone that was trying to transition to something completely new?
Yeah, definitely. I think I decided to leave teaching at the end of last school year. And when I got on LinkedIn, it was great to see how many people were also in that same boat. But there were also so many people who were sharing resources and information, which was amazing, but at times overwhelming. So I kind of wanted the space to be able to connect face to face. So we did live Zoom meetings with other transitioning teachers to have a space to kind of work through all the information that was coming our way, just to kind of build those relationships, have people who are really understanding what you're going through and why you're leaving teaching, and also can talk through some of the strategies for finding that next role, and really make sense of, like I said, all that information being thrown our way.
Yeah, absolutely. Now I joined one of the call, and there were a few other transition teachers, but I know that's not kind of always the theme of the episode. Is that correct? Sometimes it's you have other teachers still looking to transition that are kind of talking about their search, and it's more of a support network in that way as well.
Yeah, so I've had kind of 3 to 4 different things that I've done with the group. One was the panels that you were a panelist for, where it's former teachers who are already kind of well established in their new career who came to talk about what the new job is really like a day in the life. And then we've had the regular just community meetings where it's teachers in the midst of the transition to just kind of check in, talk about progress, what's been working well for them, what are some good pointers they've learned. And then sometimes those community meetings were more targeted, like let's all peer review each other's resumes right now, or let's do some interview question practice together. And then the newest thing I started was this interview series where I'm talking to recently transitioned teachers more about that process, like what helped you to land the role that you just recently started.
Okay. So with that being said, what is some of kind of the key takeaways that you're getting in that regard that you would want to pass on to other transitioning teachers? What's kind of been the overall theme, or kind of the best advice that you're receiving from the recently transitioned teachers in terms of how they were able to be successful?
Yeah, I think the big part of it is around mindset, like being able to be flexible in the process. A lot of people talked about they had one goal or one role that they thought that they were heading towards. And after talking to people actually doing that work, they realized that wasn't exactly what they were interested in, and kind of staying open to different job opportunities that they came across and realized they had more of an interest in. I think it's also been kind of, as everyone says, about networking.
Mhm.
Like having those informational interviews to talk to people already in the field, but also reaching out to your own network and seeing what connections you might have that maybe you didn't think of, that might someone who might know someone who could kind of get you connected to a company or to a role that you're looking at. And just having the perseverance to keep trying. I think applying for teaching roles is a very, very different experience than applying for roles outside of teaching. So kind of getting used to that rejection, getting resilient, and seeing other people's progress as a motivator instead of a a demotivator, like seeing, oh, other people have made it, that means I can too, as opposed to letting that kind of bring you down that it hasn't happened for you yet.
Yeah, absolutely. So now you created this network and these different series to assist other people, but through the creation, how have you been assisted in this process? What have you benefited from when it comes to putting all of this together and being that resource for others?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think one of the reasons I wanted to start the group was I wanted some experience with facilitation with adults. Like as a teacher, you do facilitating learning experiences all day long, but I wanted kind of to build that experience outside of the classroom for myself. So putting on Zoom meetings that had up to 50 people attending and kind of figuring out the best ways to get people engaged and to make sure that the content is interesting. And I got to send out surveys to participants to kind of get their feedback and adapt my programming from there. But the biggest thing has really been the relationships I've been able to build from the panelists like you that I've had on and just the other teachers in transition as well. I'm really excited for all the people I've connected with who are in transition currently, just to see where we all end up. Like we're all going to land roles at places, companies all over, and that network will kind of hopefully keep going. That I've built many of these relationships, gotten to know some people, and hopefully can keep those relationships going into the future.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So now you mentioned end of the school year last year was when you decided that you were going to make the transition. So was the goal when you started that in terms of what you wanted your next position, what you wanted your next career to look like? Is that still the same, or has it kind of changed a little bit as you've had discussions and kind of seen the landscape of the job industry right now?
Yeah, it's definitely evolved a little bit. I think it has been an interesting time as I was getting deeper into my intentional job application section of my search. That's kind of when all the layoffs started getting announced.
Right.
Um, so that's been interesting to kind of navigate. But I think I have shifted my focus a little bit. I started considering several paths. I was thinking about recruiting for a little while, but I really honed in on learning and development.
Mhm.
And I was looking at like facilitation based learning and development specialist type roles. I was really interested in new hire onboarding. That doesn't feel like the best space to be targeting right now with hiring slowing down in a lot of places. So I've made a slight pivot recently and I'm more interested in people operations.
Okay.
I'm really interested in employee experience and development. And I hope to find a company that's really intentional about building inclusive company culture. And that's kind of the space I want to be in right now.
Okay, awesome, awesome. So then, before we wrap up the call here today, we alluded to it earlier, and how you and I connected through, the different programs and series that you put on. So, I just wanted to give you some time here to kind of plug everything that you're doing. Other transitioning teachers who are watching this, how they can get connected with you, what you're hoping to gain out of the different series, and how they can follow along and get involved themselves.
Sure. Yeah. The best place is to find me on LinkedIn, Nicole Doumeng. And I will be posting my video interview series just on my own profile. And then there's also a LinkedIn group for teachers in transition, just called Teachers in Transition, where I post all the things that I have going on in there. I was doing a bi-monthly community meeting. I've slowed those down a little bit for now. So the best way is to follow me, join that group to kind of stay posted and see any upcoming events that we have coming up. But right now the next video interview series will probably be coming out maybe even before this video is posted, but you'll be able to find it on my profile.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. Well, Nicole, I appreciate you taking the time to jump on here with me. I'm anxious to see the next steps here in your journey and what all you continue to do for transitioning teachers. I think that's phenomenal. You've been a great resource to a lot of people. So it's very beneficial, I think, to see, and rewarding, I'm sure, for you as well to see those other wins as well as you go through. So that's it for us for the week. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great week, and we will talk to you next Monday.
All right. Thanks, Matt.